Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hey, do you pray?
Alhamdulillah, I do.
What about Game of Thrones? Do you watch that?
No way. I just finished season 4.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith, All My Struggle.
Love is being soulmates, really.
In Islam, marriage is a fundamental part of a Muslim's life. It is widely accepted across all schools of thought that getting married is half your faith.
Half your religion if you marry, and that is a huge thing that my parents also believe in.
However, for Muslims, finding a life partner in Britain isn't the easiest of tasks, especially when you are observing the faith while searching.
To find someone that you physically, mentally and emotionally connect with is so difficult.
12 wonderful people have agreed to embark on a unique journey with us, not only to share their experiences and struggles in finding a life partner, but also to learn new things about themselves along the way.
I feel that I'm ready now to share my life with someone. I just hope that it happens one day.
If I was to meet someone else, I'd probably take it very, very slow.
Does marriage being seen as more of a religious duty distort one's judgment in seeking a life partner?
I think you say you're looking for a wife, but I don't think you are looking for a wife.
With divorce always being a risk, could some be about to make the same mistakes again?
Don't look for someone who's like you, look for someone who's going to complement you.
This journey isn't about matchmaking. It's an insight into how 12 British Muslims are dealing with the struggles of trying to complete half their faith.
Action.
Okay. Okay, we start again.
Start again.
Okay, listen. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Miqdad. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Fitri. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Hazim. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Abir. Use your hands, okay, and smile. Smile, yeah?
We are following Matloob, a 39-year-old social entrepreneur from Manchester, who is in search for love for a second time.
I want to be able to unconditionally trust someone, unconditionally love someone. So that's the biggest issue I've got at the moment.
He married previously based on faith.
I married for the sake of Allah. Yeah, I married because I chose Iman over everything else. I had 6 years of a rough marriage. I'm now divorced.
Can he look beyond religious criteria this time round?
Yes, she should be active in society, but for the right reasons.
But is it what you want? Get to the point.
To revive the Sunnah.
Is Matloob clear on what he truly wants?
You have to be straightforward and honest with yourself, bro. You're looking for that strong family home.
Absolutely.
You're looking for a housewife.
Absolutely.
And this is something you have to be honest with yourself.
A lot about me and less about what I'm looking for. And he says I'm not fussy. There's nothing in there about his faith. There's nothing in there in terms of what type of individual he's looking for, how important the faith is, the future of his partner in terms of religious-wise.
My ideal woman is someone who is who is
As a social entrepreneur, Matloob's passion is in charity, and he has opened a multi-purpose space where he also manages a faith-based music group.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Miqdad.
And I am Muhammad Al-Fitri bin Muhammad.
I am Muhammad Hazim.
And I am Muhammad Abir bin Fakhrul Razi.
This is the generation of hope. The Generation of Hope has been performing nasheed throughout the world, from Jordan to Asia, and basically they sing about Islam, use their voices to portray Islam in a positive sense.
There were so many different projects that I needed to work on, so I created this charity called Amazing Community Projects, all focused on helping people and empowering people to become successful, not in just for this life, but for the afterlife as well. This is our community cafe kitchen, and it's basically run by volunteers. So This is where all the magic happens, where all the wonderful food that everybody enjoys is created. Like I said, it's a charity, so a lot of the food that we get is funded, it's sponsored. So it's all well organised. We've got a team of people looking after this place, and this is where all the food gets cooked. So anyone off the street can come here. Anyone can come here off the street and have some free food anytime. So you're all welcome. Anyone's welcome to get together over a curry really, and get to know our neighbours and etc. So we'll have a little bit of entertainment. We'll have some videos. We'll have some comedy going on, and that's where we use this place wisely. And so I'll show you my office. So I've got ambitions and I've got major goals, and I think I would love to find someone that can actually come into my life and not only support me, but actually become one with me to reach these goals.
Finding true love is never easy, but when you're searching for the second time, the stakes are even higher. 29-year-old divorcee Isra from Cardiff has been on the road to marriage for over 1 year, but her journey hasn't been a smooth one.
In the past, I have met someone, so I got my brother-in-law to meet him, but afterwards I find out the guy is a bit dodgy, he doesn't even work. He lied and he said he's a teacher. He was living off, disability allowance. He's not even disabled.
Unable to find people locally, as well as not wishing to find her husband via family again, has forced Isra online.
I've always been someone I always support everyone and supported my ex-husband, with everything. And I'd want someone there, someone who'd do the same for me as well. If I had known about all this stuff, like he was brought up in an environment with his bad habits like gambling addiction and violence and all that, maybe I wouldn't have really gone for him. So that's why now I've got the opportunity to get to know someone myself, not the whole arranged marriage thing. I gave him a few chances to change. I even said, I'll take you to Gambling Anonymous and everything, and I've tried to help him change. So I thought, I'll help him manage his, problems and things like that. So I tried to even support him then, but he just didn't get any better. So at the end, I felt like...
With her past haunting her, bad online experiences have resulted in Isra having a very negative opinion of men.
Well, I don't trust men, because most are, dishonest. I just want to, see if my negative mindset against men can be changed.
You made a very bold statement saying that most Asian men are untrustworthy.
I still stick by it so far. There was one really weird message I had a few months ago. The man is 64 years old, right? So I said to him, I just replied and I said, I'm not sure why you're messaging me when I'm less than half your age. And I said, don't you think it would be sensible and more appropriate for you to message an older woman? And then he comes back saying, someone when your age message me. I don't know why he thinks of himself. That's quite funny though, how he says, some woman your age message me. He might be after his pensions, I don't know.
She doesn't meet suitors face to face, so many of her decisions are based solely on marriage profiles and email conversation.
Look, here's one of the evidence of these guys. So just they're on this marriage side. It's not a dating side. Yes, you should get to know someone. But he's like, if nothing, we can just be really good friends. And he keeps messaging, even though I was like, no. And he's like, even though I'm not looking for friends here, then why are you messaging and saying you want to be friends? Do you understand? There's really immature guys on there who just want to mess about and take advantage of women.
However, she was advised by marriage guidance counsellor Naseem to pursue face-to-face discussion.
The foundation of marriage has to be built on trust. So I just don't like dishonest people. Once there's the dishonest, that's when I lose that interest.
Will Isra take heed of the advice she is given, or is her opinion of men just too distorted?
So now I feel like, single life is much better, because I'm doing everything I can for my children anyway. And I would have to get to know the person for a while. So it would never be another arranged marriage, ever.
Do you like that colour?
It should have been back on my desk. Where's it gone? Do you like that? I just made it now.
Isra is currently writing 2 reality-inspired books.
At the moment I'm writing something like a proper, I want to get it published in the future, so I'm just doing it as and when.
Her passion for creative writing is evident in poetry she has written for children about Islam.
Islam is my religion, I love my deen, it's all about submission and peace. By following Allah's guidance, the peace in our hearts will never decrease. Be patient, have taqwa, only in paradise you can live happily ever after. Remember, we are Muslims, our duty is to obey and please Allah, the Almighty, the Most High. Only then we will be on our way to Jannah and reach above the sky.
That's my sister. That's my sister. That's me in my school horse. That's my sister. That's my mum.
Yeah, perfect marriage for me would be one with love, compassion, and someone really sincere and with a big heart like myself. So if I find that person, then I'll settle down again, otherwise I'd rather grow old alone.
Have you performed Hajj?
No, but I've done Umrah.
Alhamdulillah, I wish to one day.
Inshallah, me too.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith or My Struggle.
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hey, do you pray?
Alhamdulillah, I do.
What about Game of Thrones? Do you watch that?
No way, I just finished season 4.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith or My Struggle.
We are following Isra on her journey to complete half her faith.
That's our family rules.
Love one another, have fun and enjoy life. Be honest, give hugs, never give up.
Do we follow these rules, Simon? Where's my hair today?
You can read Ayat Jannah and Jahannam.
See, she's another writer in the making. You're going to do me proud, right? You're going to be a big writer. I think it's equally important for the children to be educated at home as well. So these are all English literature, maths, activity books, and so they can learn the stories of the prophets and stuff and make their own understanding.
You've got lots of that kind of stuff around here.
Yeah, because it's the positive thing, isn't it? And that's how you feel anyway.
Family is very important to Isra.
What do you think would make him a good partner for someone? Is he very loyal? Is he kind? Is he funny?
Through business, I've been able to master time. I've been able to master, productivity and organisation. So I believe I'm quite an efficient person, and I believe if I did have a wife in my life, I would certainly make time to develop my relationship.
It's difficult.
No, okay. What do you think of me as a person? But I think it has been slightly difficult because some of the girls I've been talking to, they don't really understand business. People are kind of stuck in careers and stuck in like a matrix of conformity, and I am kind of anti-conformist.
He's looked after me better than a lot of other people would have done.
What, do you love me, do you?
Yes, you've done a lot for me over the last 12 years. You've looked after me. You've looked after...
I'm going to go away, I think it's probably...
In a way, I'd rather you stayed here.
Matloob attended a recent marriage event, which unfortunately returned no results. To help him think beyond religious criteria when searching, he has been invited to meet with Iftikhar Awan and his wife, Dr. Shanaz, who are successful professionals and have been happily married for almost 30 years. They are also founders of the marriage event that Matloob attended.
I've been to a few marriage events. I've been meeting people. I suppose I've not been looking in the right places, I suppose. On the internet, I've been meeting some ladies on the internet. Nothing's happened because these places that people are not really focused. They just, I don't know really.
Have you actually met people or just interact with them on the internet so far?
When I read a girl's profile and I think, forget it, I'm not going to be able to satisfy all of that criteria, so I don't really bother.
Well, you're tall and slim and handsome, so surely you meet a lot of criteria already.
I have put some decent pictures on there. Before I had pictures where, I had a bit of a beard and all that, and as soon as I changed my photos into a suit and shirt and all that kind of stuff, I got so much response, just for my looks, do you understand? And which is fine.
So when you say you haven't been looking in the right place, or where have you met people, and where do you think the right place is?
I really don't know.
What kind of girl?
I really don't know.
What are you looking for?
I can sum it up, because we had a counselling session before, and I'm kind of summing up now who she is.
It appears the meeting with John Fontaine helped Matloob with clarity, and he's about to share it.
I was unsure at the beginning of this series. I was unsure. I can sum it up. And she embodies the persona of a princess. Okay? And what I mean by that is, yes, she'll be wise, she'll be successful, but then her heart will be with the people who have less, and like Diana kind of persona, the heart of princess,
Like a heart of gold.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because you see, I'm very successful. I've been successful, with business and so yes, I need somebody who has that caliber to be on my level in terms of success, but at the same time, somebody who's selfless, who gives. So it kind of reflects a similar characteristics to me, really, I suppose.
People say you want someone who's similar to you, but actually, sometimes you need somebody who's not necessarily the same as you. And I want to, say about ourselves. I think we're very different characters, and yet we've been, this July we'll have been married 29 years. So when you say you need somebody who's going to be at the same level as you, have the same characteristics as you, you need somebody who complements you.
Yeah.
I think that's much more important than someone who. And actually, well, you're saying you're successful. Well, sometimes you need just a wife who is just supportive of them, but doesn't have to be exactly like you.
Understand me.
That you help each other grow. Because of the kind of support that she gives me, I'm able to go out and do the things that I do. You need somebody who's going to be supportive of your lifestyle and may not necessarily have the same characteristics as you. And I think you used a word which tells me that you have slightly unrealistic expectations as well when you use the word princess.
Just a word,
No, but that actually says to me a lot.
It is lovely, but there are...
By you actually using that word says to me a lot.
Be a princess. She'd be my princess, right?
Yes,
of course she'll be your princess,
I was trying to kind of, imagine.
Matloob's sincerity is clear. However, is he back to square one? Isra needs to see two similar people who have successfully completed half their faith. So we have sent her to meet Sarvet and Jamal from Nottingham. They were both divorcees before they met and fell in love.
I'll be honest with you, personally, no disrespect to any Pakistani or Indians or Bengalis, I was so much not wanting to marry one of my own. But the very thought of marrying a Pakistani man used to give me chills down my spine.
Sarvet's non-traditional criteria for a husband is something that may appeal to Isra.
So when did you actually decide you wanted to get married?
Fairly early on.
I think, it was pretty fast,
After about 3 months.
Yeah.
There's no point in mucking about.
No.
If you know and you're sort of fairly sensible about it.
Yeah.
The role of family in the marriage process was important even for Jamal.
So how did you manage to tell your families?
Well, obviously being a revert to Islam, that went down like a ton of bricks.
Yes.
And even then, my mother took a lot of pushing and shoving to actually accept it. But she's my mum, and I love her, and we're off to see her tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
After going off Pakistani men, I simply put my foot down and said, no. It has to be a non-Pakistani, or it's not going to, a non-Asian, or it's not going to happen. It took me about 6 to 7 years to convince my father. I mean, I would never have done it without his blessings, because I couldn't bring myself to hurt him and take such a big step without his blessings.
Isra has a burning question she wants to ask, which is about to shift the focus of the meeting from Sarvet and Jamal onto herself.
So did you do any checks then on each other beforehand, background check?
I got a CRB check with it.
How was it?
Pretty clean, so I thought, okay, let's go.
Trust is clouding Isra's vision, and she believes CRB checks are a good premise to start an honest relationship.
When you say checks, do you mean like the traditional
Background
kind of
checks
checks that
and
you
CRB
find?
checks as well?
No, I don't believe in checks. If you start doing checks, my mum may not like one thing, uncle may object to another, auntie may not like the third thing, but maybe I do like the person. So I think it was pretty much us liking each other, and he very soon met the rest of my family, and then that was just...
I mean the CRB check part, the criminal.
I was joking. I was joking.
You didn't?
No,
No,
I was joking.
No, but I'm thinking I should.
Isra shares some of her darker experiences that shock the couple.
There's a serious point here, which is that there's a lot of people who regard themselves as very savvy. They get sucked into relationships, and then even the wisest people get suckered into that one. There is a limit to how much you can check up on anybody.
Yes.
You know, I think your own inner instinct is the biggest ally you've got. Yeah.
Isra's lack of trust in men has surfaced. Matloob has come to meet Iftikhar Awan and his wife Dr. Shanaz to help him think about what he wants in a partner beyond purely religious attributes.
Because I was struggling trying to find out, who it is that I'm looking for. So
you need to kind of come down.
I'm
Definitely
down.
that.
Don't worry, I'm coming.
I don't think you are though. You're saying that you are, but I don't think you are. First of all, you got married very quickly. You were saying earlier on to us, 4 weeks from meeting somebody to saying that you want to marry them. You made a very quick decision, and that was based on, they're Islamic. Just having Islam in common and being both very religious isn't always a guarantee of a happy marriage, because there's a lot of things, day to day, just normal personality. So two people can be very Islamic, but have very different personalities which actually don't work together. Just saying, this person, is Islamic, therefore I'm Islamic, and therefore that's going to work out. I think there's a lot more to it than that.
Have you performed Hajj?
No, but I've done Umrah.
Alhamdulillah, I wish to one day.
Inshallah. Me too.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith, All My Struggle.
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hey, do you pray?
Alhamdulillah, I do.
What about Game of Thrones? Do you watch that?
No way. I just finished season 4.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith, All My Struggle.
Business and charity work and my previous education development has taken me to a height where very few people have reached.
We're following Matloob on a journey to find marriage success.
Also, you have a perception about yourself. You use the word, I'm very successful. Well, that in itself is also, I think, a relative term, right? I mean, how successful are you? I've got friends who are very successful.
I never usually say that.
Some of these things that you say something about yourself and actually your perception about yourself. I mean, I've got friends who are successful in that they're worth £250 million in terms of their wealth.
Sure.
That's very successful.
Sure.
I'm not sure that you are necessarily at that level. So
no comment.
that success is also a kind of relative term.
Well, I could have meant spiritual success, right?
But you did talk about your business and entrepreneur and stuff like that, because marriage isn't about how much money you've got.
The meeting is one of home truths and tough love for Matloob. Things he needs to hear.
So that's what I'm saying. So you really need to, I think, come down to earth, and also stop thinking of yourself as somebody who is this great entrepreneur. But I think that in itself could be, intimidating to somebody.
Yeah.
Well, I can't marry somebody who's going to be like that.
Yeah. From a very young age, I sacrificed myself to Islam. I said, look, Allah, I'll do everything for your sake. So I feel very strongly about peace, and peace in the world, and I'm still searching.
But that's this advice we're trying to give you.
You're 39, so you're not really, really old, you know, a good age. And and you're good looking. Nice and yes, you are, mashallah. And you know, you've got a lot of positives about you. Mashallah, you're humble, you're kind, you're generous, you think about the world, you give into the world, you've put it on your profile. I'm really surprised that somebody is eligible. You're like a really eligible bachelor. So why are you not married?
The one key piece of advice is look for someone who's going to compliment you. Maybe there's a girl out there who wants somebody like you, but it's not like that herself. But it's also your perception of yourself as being highly successful, where, as I say to somebody else, that may not be very highly successful.
No,
to me, you may just be an ordinary businessman.
No, I understand that.
You know, so relative. So that, but I'm saying that's not even something you bring to the table as something that's important in a marriage.
I'm not sure what to bring to the table. So.
Right. It's been a tough day for Matloob. But will he just go back to square one again?
It never gave me a chance to really express what anything about me or what I'm looking for and how to look for. But I understood what they were saying. You know, sometimes maybe I'm not saying the right things, and I'm hoping, I can meet them again and get some more advice.
Isra's pursuit of happiness has brought her along to meet Sarvat and Jamal. It is unclear whether Isra's trust issues around men have stemmed from her own bad experiences online or those of her friends.
Have you met lots of crazy people? Or?
Few, and then, a few of my family, friends, others who have been looking also have. That's why I've kind of got trust issues.
Okay, other people's experiences, don't take them into account, because they are on their journey and there are certain things they need to learn.
You had one really stinking experience, yeah.
Without even giving a wonderful, genuine guy a chance, not even having a conversation, you're assuming.
It seems like too good to be true when someone's acts so decent.
Seems because you've got that glass in front of you.
Because I've had other bad experiences, isn't it?
So don't you think you're being your own worst enemy here?
Perhaps.
There might be a wonderful person sitting out there. And remember, if you sometimes miss the bus, you miss the bus. It's not a good thing to happen.
Her fear of trusting men is clearly holding Isra back from progressing in finding her love.
Isra is still very much scared of taking that next step. And I think until she deals with her own fear and just does it anyways, I think it's going to be harder for her.
But I also think that Isra should just take it easy for a while.
Yeah.
Especially with children being the number one priority.
Yes.
And this is, if you're being polite, like I'm saying, unfortunately, I don't think we are compatible. Still, he's like, no, I think we're perfect for each other. He doesn't even know me. Some men, they're just weird. They just don't want to take no for an answer. I just want to, see if my negative mindset against men can be changed.
Isra's issues with trust need addressing. Since she has rejected guys based solely on their profile, their background, and never met them, we wanted to conduct an experiment. We've set up a marriage profile of someone who may not be her ideal choice.
I don't know, initial looks maybe seems a bit like he's not the serious type. Maybe a bit of a player.
A profile like this would normally ring alarm bells with Isra.
He looks a bit strict. I'm not sure if he's mature from the way the profile sounds. Also, he didn't write anything about what he wants. But if he didn't message me, I wouldn't message him first.
She has agreed to go on a chaperoned meeting to see if her assumptions are correct. This is Nawaz, 29, from Bradford.
I don't really have an ideal woman, but I suppose when I see her, I'll know. I spend more time out with my friends than I do at home. 3 qualities I like in a woman. 1, she's got to have a sense of humour. She's got to be able to make me laugh and get my jokes. 2nd, she's got to have a good dress sense. And 3rdly, she's got to know how to cook, because I do love my food.
For Isra, trust is once again at the top of her agenda.
Well, I've had some bad experience with men, so I don't really easily trust. So what is it that you can do to prove to me that you're trustworthy?
what you see is what you get with me. I mean, other than giving you my Facebook account, details, and you can go through that, I don't really know how I can show you I'm trustworthy. I could maybe introduce you to my family.
Is that what you would do when you meet someone? Would you get family involved at the early stage?
I think it's very important.
Isra puts forward some strong questions. Clearly a dab hand at interrogation.
So what are your views on polygamy? Would you be okay with taking on more than one wife?
It scares me to think that I have to have one wife.
You wouldn't take co-wife basically then?
No.
So what makes you angry then?
I think liars.
Okay, snap.
Yeah, I think I've had friends in the past who have lied, who are no longer friends for that reason.
Would you get violent physically with a woman if she wind you up?
I think that's probably one of the no-nos in
Really?
in
Are you
the
sure?
ballpark.
Even if she
I don't know if you know about the White Ribbon Foundation, but I'm part of the White Ribbon Foundation, which is
against domestic violence,
against domestic violence, yes.
Nawaz shares some personal background information that could change the direction of the conversation.
Would it be an issue for you, say, if I had family members who have been incarcerated, been in prison?
And I would never judge someone because someone in the family, then it's like, why would you disadvantage them? And that's really unfair, isn't it?
Nawaz's earlier answer about anger may have been diplomatic. Has he lied?
There's certain things that do make me angry, but when I do get angry, I've been known to maybe take it a bit too far.
For example?
Well, just getting physical, maybe knocking somebody out, or getting into a fight, or getting into a brawl. Working with my father on the markets, we used to, we were on the markets on our own, and there were situations where you had to fight to save your stock, save
so you're
save your
saying
money.
for defence, basically?
In defence, yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't say I've never really gone out, cause harm on someone, or or if I've held a vendetta against somebody,
Isra feels the meeting was positive.
Obviously, it's just one meeting I've had with him, but he did seem sincere. I feel like my initial instincts are positive, but this is the first time that I've met someone without getting to know them online. So I think it was a positive experience. I kind of learned a lot from that one meeting of how the person's like. I have learned that, you shouldn't really go by judge by the looks, make the assumption as well from the text.
Being active online with limited success has prompted Matloob to meet Adeem, founder of a popular Muslim marriage website. Matloob is hoping he can get some insight on how to market himself better as husband material.
Well, you were saying earlier that because you're a salesperson, you tell people what they want to hear. And do you think that affects how what the type of people that you're coming across?
Ultimately, I've got yaqeen, it's all qadr, right? I'm going to meet the right person at the right time. I am constantly learning, constantly developing, constantly trying to understand who I am, what I want.
Are you changing as a person? Do you think that the person that you're looking for needs a constant, or because if you're changing too fast, or you're changing in a different direction?
Okay, what I mean by change is, I am who I am. For example, I may have a big criteria of what I want in a wife, but obviously I've dropped most of them, do you understand? So I'm changing, right? Matloob, don't be fussy, don't just go for looks, don't go just for religion, don't. So, I've thrown a lot of this out the window, and I'm just open now. I'm open to, meet her. And
Have you performed Hajj?
No, but I've done Umrah.
Alhamdulillah. I wish to one day.
Inshallah. Me too.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith or My Struggle.
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hey, do you pray?
Alhamdulillah, I do.
What about Game of Thrones? Do you watch that?
No way. I just finished season 4.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith or My Struggle.
Matloob is meeting Adeem, head to head, to share his experiences in the hope he can get some tips on how to sell himself better.
But the last lady I spoke to on the phone, really, or text message, I suppose, you know, somebody introduced us, it was just a bit of text messaging, she did one, she disappeared. So what scared her off was, I told her, you know, I was more spiritual, because my parents are more Sufi kind of people. People have a mindset, they follow a certain group or a certain tariqah or whatever, and if you're different from them, they don't want to know you, basically. So it's something like that, really.
So online searching, then when you've got you can search a set of criteria, what do you think there's problems there? What's your profile like? What kind of vibe do you give off to other people?
But my profile generally, you know, when I describe myself, I keep it to a few words. Yeah, you know, global entrepreneur, Islamic leader, you know, just a few sentences.
What does that mean though? What's a global entrepreneur? What's an Islamic leader?
Just to show.
They're just buzzwords, aren't they? Surely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If I'm looking for somebody, I know what a doctor is. I know what a dentist is. I know what a pharmacist is. I know what a taxi driver is or a restaurant owner is. What does a global entrepreneur mean? I mean, what do you do? Mom, I found a global entrepreneur. I think you just need to be more specific, because you need to give them a little bit of stability in what this person is.
Adim is offering Matloob some good advice, but is it landing on deaf ears?
You see, it takes understanding. I mean, this is the issue. I'm very different from the normal guy, basically. I'm not just a doctor or just a businessman or I've advanced in a different level. So it takes somebody who understands what entrepreneurship is to kind of, you know, to understand. People don't have time to read profiles, so I just keep it to a few words, few buzzwords, and then I usually describe more of what I'm looking for.
What you're saying to me there, though, is that the part where it says description, what is Matloob is two lines, and what you're looking for is I'm looking for all this. You know, people need to know who Matloob is, as well as what Matloob's looking for. And if that can be balanced and it can be clarified, then I think that would help you a lot as well.
I understand.
Mashallah, you're an attractive guy, you've got everything going for you, but at the same time, it's not about having everything, it's not about ticking all the boxes, you know, aim to settle down with somebody and be a lifelong partner. You want somebody who's gonna have depth. You want somebody who's gonna be a wife, like you say. I think you say you're looking for a wife, but I don't think you are looking for a wife. I think you're just looking for maybe a short-term good fix or short-term kind of quick fix. I think you just need to reflect on that a little bit more, take a little bit more time.
On his journey for love, Matloob has learnt that he needs to be true to himself and should take things a little slower when getting to know someone. Malaysia is very important to Matloob. He travels there for charity and business. He also manages a Malaysian nasheed group. Therefore, Adim has matched him with someone who is experienced in the best of both worlds. Evie is 29 and originally from Indonesia. She's a software engineer who has lived in London for 10 years. She has gone to the effort of preparing many Indonesian dishes from scratch.
But I'm quite relaxed, you know. I'm keen to see what destiny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has got, you know, in store for me. So alhamdulillah, you know, in that sense, you know, I'm not my mind set on anything, so I'm quite open-minded. I'm like an open book. Regardless of what situation, where the person's from, you don't know. You just never know, you know, when you might click, as they say. But you know, I'm quite open-minded. Yeah, quite excited actually. I mean, I've been through many rishte before, you know, witnessing families, and I'm kind of used to it, you know, the whole situation. So you want me to try this, right?
It might burn you now.
Okay, here we go. Bismillah.
And
that is nice.
Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely. Not too hot, and it's quite warm. You don't need to heat it up. You know, have you heard of Chocolate Road? What? In Malaysia, Chocolate Road. It's very famous for the Indonesian restaurants.
Mm-hmm. Things get off to a flying start with Matloob, keen to show Evie his knowledge of her part of the world.
In the recent elections, I mean, the Chinese were trying to fight for the seat, weren't they, in the elections?
How do you know that? You like politics?
Yeah, no, I don't like politics, but I'm involved with some of the charity and I'm a datu there, so I know what's happening. I'm going back very soon to meet one of the kings, and you know, we're gonna get involved with some kind of business and also some charity work.
Are you?
Yeah, very.
Wow.
Yeah, so So this is satay, right?
It's satay, but it's a bit burnt.
It's okay, be positive. I'm sure it tastes fantastic.
Matloob is hoping to impress Evie by sharing his knowledge of Malaysia.
I went for a meal the other day, just yesterday. It was a Thai and Malaysian restaurant. There was about 10 of us, you know, it cost us like £150, you know.
Like 15.
And £20 for parking, so, but you know, the food was wonderful. You know, it was worth it at the end of the day, you know. It was a very busy place, but yeah, I mean, but home cooked food is always the best.
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing some business here. I'm setting up an operation in Southall, and you know, I've been doing some things in Manchester as well.
Looks like Matloob may have something in his throat.
As well as in Malaysia, so I do a lot of things there.
Clearly, Matloob is making his host feel at ease with his conversation.
No, it's wonderful to meet you. I think, you know, very wonderful lady. Usually, if I didn't find, you know, someone interesting, then I'd just shut up and just stay in one corner.
Matloob is rightly proud of his charity work and Malaysian knighthood. Will Evie see his kind heart?
My parents have a good image of people from Malaysia and Indonesia already, and everyone I've spoken to across the world, whether it's the Arabs or from my family, they've always thought, you know, the Malay people are the good, you know, the calm, good people. Every Muslim should. So let's try these meatballs, yeah?
Matloob is quietly confident. Oh, but he needs to keep his opinions to himself.
So this is lamb or beef?
It's beef.
Yeah, I thought so.
Like it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's quite bland, which is good. Because, you know, when you compare it to a spicy dish, sometimes you need a dish like this. So, tell me, I mean, have you ever cooked like this before for anyone special?
Anyone special, like friends, family? I usually cook during Idul Fitri, Idul Adha, like that. Not at home, because at home I let my mother doing the cooking.
Let's try your satay, huh? Let me try. Were they grilled or were they? No, did you burn them? No, they're not burnt. They're absolutely fine.
Blame him.
Yeah, no, I'm not. What is that in the peanut sauce?
It's peanuts. It's
garlic.
I need to put it in.
Is it garlic or what is that?
Will Evie's native Indonesian cuisine impress the Malaysian Dato, Matloob? Is there a spark?
Personally, you know, I'm gonna give somebody from Britain a chance first. I mean, I've been to Malaysia and these places before, and I've had offers already. I couldn't see myself living with her. I think I'd struggle if I was alone with her.
Matloob is a very loving individual with a kind heart. His charity work is testimony to this. Will he find someone who will see him in this context? Isra's road to finding love is blocked by her trust issues. To vent her frustration, we have set up a penultimate meeting with Adeem. Isra is suggesting if any of the sites could offer a CRB check facility.
CRB checks are very difficult because the sheer number of people that we have on the website.
With the CRB check, it would eliminate, you know, all the bad people anyway.
No, absolutely,
so
absolutely not.
It wouldn't affect the success rate.
No, and it wouldn't. Of course it would, because what you're then doing is you're putting a barrier to entry. So you're almost.
That would protect, you know, the vulnerable sisters or the naive younger ones who might not tell their family and go on these sites.
Sadly, a lot of people that suffer from domestic abuse, domestic violence, especially in our culture, especially in our communities, these go unreported. There's no mention on any databases or any records that X, Y, and Z has this background, or X, Y, and Z is inclined to do anything like this.
On the other hand, there's people you find on there who are, you know, players and out there to mess about and use and abuse people.
What you need to do is you need to, those individuals, you have to then do background checks as an individual. That's there. You know, you have to look at the individual's friends, look at the individual's families, look. Just go and ask for references. Does this person go to the masjid? If so, who does he spend time with? Does he spend time in bars and clubs and pubs?
over the 2 months we have followed Isra on her journey. Her intention was always to share her story to empower other vulnerable women in need of help.
Have you performed Hajj?
No, but I've done Umrah.
Alhamdulillah. I wish to one day.
Inshallah. Me too.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith or My Struggle.